Right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday Motivation with Eugene Wood and myself, Sunil Osman. Thank you very much for joining us here today. Eugene, we've already got Maria asking, what is the topic today?
The topic today is self-esteem.
That's right. It's self-esteem today. We're going to speak about high self-esteem, low self-esteem, what is self-esteem, but also for those of you who are catching this on TikTok right now, thank you very much for joining us. We do this between 3:30 and 3:45, anytime at that time on a Monday, and it's live. And then if you are watching this on YouTube, don't forget to click on the notifications and subscribe to Influence SA. If you're watching this on IGTV, I like saying that, IGTV, then click on follow, share with your friends, and join us every Monday and then for a repeat on a Wednesday. So self-esteem. Whoa, this is a topic that I was thinking about for the entire week. It's a big one. And I can see Eugene is going to burst out and speak about his own self-esteem and how it's improved over these years. So Eugene, let's kick off the conversation.
When you say it's improved over the years, it has in different aspects, but there's obviously such a variety of self-esteem. Like I had a lot of self-esteem in my appearance when my last few years of living in London, because I was super healthy, super fit, went to exercise all the time, had a lot of self-esteem in my appearance then. Now I have more self-esteem in like knowledge that I can provide and stuff, like, you know what I mean? So I might not have the best self-esteem in my appearance right now, but I also know what I need to do to make that better and improve that self-esteem. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
yeah, you might not have that self-esteem at the time, but it is learning.
I think before we get too deep into our personal experiences that we hopefully people can relate to, maybe we should define what self-esteem is. In fact, Maria says the same thing, define self-esteem. From my perspective, I mean, I try not to go and do theoretical research on these topics so we can speak from a place of truth. So self-esteem is the way you view yourself, the way you view others, the way you view your life. And there is a low self-esteem, which is where you speak negatively about yourself the whole time. You can't take compliments. You don't know how to take positive criticism. Where a high self-esteem and a healthy self-esteem is, like Maria says here, self-respect, confidence in one's own worth or abilities. So believing in yourself, and it comes down a lot to belief in the self. And some people struggle to get to that point where they want to believe in themselves. And if you take things like the bullying that we get online, people attack your self-esteem. And whether you're going to go, it doesn't affect me, or it does affect me, is where your level of confidence within yourself actually stands.
Listening to that, you can hear that there is so many different layers of self-esteem. You know what I mean? It's a lot of people might struggle with quite a few different layers, but have one. Like me, self-esteem, when it comes to being able to have improved my self-esteem to be able to talk to people, from being an introvert to showing extroverted qualities, that has boosted my self-esteem. The creativity behind TikTok has helped me boost my self-esteem in that aspect.
Yes, yes. So there are many ways in which you can build a good self-esteem. And then you have those people who break you down all the time, and then they rip you, or they take out that confidence which you have developed to grow your self-esteem. It's about finding those things that can actually help you grow in confidence, knowing your worth. Because you get some people who represent a very high self-esteem, but they don't have it. They don't have it. You get some people who, and no offense to anybody on any social media platforms, they come on these social media platforms, they're doing their dancing, they're singing, they're doing, but when you meet them face to face, they actually don't have that same form of confidence. So maybe the question should be, how do we break through and bring what we show online from a self-esteem perspective into our daily lives? I feel like an interviewer.
You're now taking it from people you meet. I was actually discussing this on a live earlier. In a way, certain aspects of TikTok, okay, I'm going to focus on TikTok because this is the platform I use considerably, like with everything. So, like, Facebook became a platform where a lot of people became fake book lives. Like, they always, it was, you know what I mean? And everything was always the best foot forward. There was no sadness. There was no, it's always the happy moments all the time. There was, and if you look at like Instagram, it became very much like that as well, where it was always like, look, my perfect life, blah, 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 blah. And what's been nice about TikTok to a certain degree is that it was different. You could use that creativity and you could express yourself and there would be no judgment. But now it seems like there's more of an acting vibe with a lot of people coming in where so when you talk about you meet someone and you've seen someone online and you meet someone for the first time, it's because sometimes they project someone else online
Yeah,
than they actually truly are. So
yeah,
self-esteem has a part to play there, but I think that has a lot more to do with like me, for instance, like I go to a meet and greet and I'm like, well, I wish I had lost 10 kgs first or whatever the case might be. So that's my self-esteem coming out.
yeah. So, hi, Dr. Vidos. Thanks for being here. Maria says, trust your own choices and judgment, not to feel guilty about the choices if someone does not agree with you. Absolutely correct. And just to touch on something which you mentioned now, Eugene, is like, you have these people who are not being real on various social media platforms that I know I was there myself. I was living a very, very fake life for a good couple of years because of the industry I'm in. Until one day I said, this is not you, Sunil. You need to be real. And what you said, especially with that Instagram platform, I know many people who will take pictures of these fancy cars and these hotels and stuff, but none of it is real. They are not really living their truth. So, not to digress to a different topic altogether, but living the truth and living your true self-esteem is a challenge for many people because they see all these people representing this fantastic life, multi-million dollar mansions where they're shooting their TikTok videos, and then they feel, oh, but I don't live in a place like that. Can I actually still do videos? Can I actually do this? So it affects their self-esteem, where actually your self-esteem should be something that lays within you, not what Eugene says, not what Dr. Badeau says, not what Christopher James says, not what Maria says, not what Sunil says, not what Eugene, and the list goes on. It's about finding that truth in yourself. And like what said by Maria earlier, finding your own worth and knowing your worth, but not just knowing your worth, but believing your worth. Because once you have belief in yourself and you start doing things from a place of truth, your self-esteem will grow. You don't let other people start judging you and criticizing you for what you have or what you don't have. The quality of your pictures, the quality of your TikTok video, whether your green screen is glitching or not when you're doing a video, and then they go, oh, but mine didn't do that. I don't care about yours because you know what? This is it's mine. And self-esteem is a my thing. It is a you thing that unfortunately it gets affected by people allowing other people to criticize them all the time. And that is where bullying comes in. If a bully picks up you've got a low self-esteem, they come and they attack it with a chisel and a massive hammer because they know how to get to you.
Hmm. Once you've reacted in that way, then they know they're going to get a rise. Then they're going to come back and
Exactly.
come back and come back. Now, there's a comment here. It says, once I was broken down, but I didn't let it get to me. I stayed chin up. So
Yeah.
kept her chin up during the whole time. And that's the thing. Like at one stage in our life, we are going to break. It's
Yeah.
just whether it's bullying, whether it's whatever, there's going to be a moment in our lives that you're going to break. And how you handle
Yeah.
that, and like you say, keeping your chin up, that already gives you the frame of mind of, I'm going to get through this, which is
Yeah.
then, in a way, going to help your self esteem because your self esteem is going to be like, well, my drive is, this is what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
going to, so mindset combined with self-esteem is going to get you through difficult patches like that.
Exactly. And I mean, like Maria says here, it's exactly because low self-esteem can affect your positive thoughts. So your chin will not be up, it'll be down. The constant self-criticism, it can lead to depression. And yes, people who have got a low self-esteem, or they have a good self-esteem that gets broken down by other people, that's where mental health issues come in. How do you deal with somebody who had a high self-esteem, but then got broken down by somebody who found that weak spot and just hammered away at it all the time? It leads to another mental health issues. Things like COVID and lockdown and things tests your self-esteem and your strength to how are you going to deal with these things. What kind of confidence do you have in yourself? Do you have that ability to go, you know what, this is happening, but this is who I am and I can get through this? Or are you going to allow other people to tell you what to do? Like when you get your comments, I get some really, really weird comments sometimes as well. I either just delete them or ignore them, or I respond really sarcastically because I don't have time for that. I mean, I very, very rarely do a response video that says, hey, what are you doing? Because then it's like tapping into my self-esteem. And I myself have worked very, very hard to get to where I am in my life. It might not be that all my wants are satisfied, but you know what? That is where I am. That is where I am. That is my way of getting to my level of self-esteem. And sometimes we need the people who love and support us the most to understand your self-esteem and where it's at. Not going, oh, so why did you do this? Why did you do that? So self-esteem is, I mean, as small as the topic may seem, self-esteem it rhymes. It's actually, it really is such an important thing, especially in this day and age when there are so many different things and aspects that can affect your self-esteem, from career choice to who you're dating, to where they live, to how much money you have, to what car you drive, to whose beard looks better. Is it mine or Eugene's? You know, all these things. And plus, as Maria says, people with low self-esteem may feel angry and bully other people. This is very true. They take it out on other people. And Maria says self-esteem is a huge topic in psychology. I can imagine. I can totally imagine.
Imagine.
Thanks for the
Can
TikToks, Just
imagine.
Willer.
I have a question, yeah, that goes, sometimes it's just not easy keeping your chin up if you keep getting knocked down over and over. Do you want to respond to that
Yeah,
one quick?
absolutely. You will get knocked all the time, whether it be from people, whether it be from what you're going through in your life, whether it be from whatever the aspects are, you're always going to get that. But for you to know your own worth and not let them get to you, that is where the test lies. And I think we've mentioned it in all three of our Monday motivation chats that we do on TikTok. All three of them, every Monday, we've mentioned about telling the brain to shut up. Just one comment from Maria. This is when a person accepts negative thoughts to take over their self-esteem, which is wrong. Exactly what I'm saying. You let those negative thoughts take over. And it takes some time, a moment to recognize, oh no, I'm actually letting this person get to me. And then you realize that then your awareness has awoken, and it's now up to you to make the choice to say, yes, they can come into my space and into my bubble and affect me and my self-esteem, or you can go, no, that is their issue.
Okay, so now let's take it out so that there isn't an external force of a person being the getting knocked down over and over, but you making things that have happened, especially with lockdown and work and salaries and like there's a lot of people have kind of like lost a quarter of their wages and they've had to downscale and they've, you know what I mean? So it feels like you keep getting knocked down in that aspect. So how do you then keep going?
All right. So from a spiritual Reiki master, author point of view of a motivational book, you have to just distinguish what is stroking your ego and what is helping your self-esteem. When you have absolutely nothing, I'm talking about no money, no car, no clothing, if you had to strip yourself down completely naked, and I've used this in professional examples too, You strip yourself down completely naked, absolutely nothing. Put yourself in front of a mirror and you say, who am I? That is where you're going to test your level of confidence, your worth, your self-esteem. Who am I standing here completely naked in a birthday suit? What have I got that is for me? Do I know my worth? Let me see. Maria always has some great comments here. The thing is, how many people can actually have awareness of their self-esteem that has been affected and therefore they keep being depressed? Yes, people are keep putting themselves deeper and deeper into depression. Depression is a chemical imbalance. And unless you are aware and you try and start dealing with it, you're not going to move forward. You're not going to grow your self-esteem. So, hello, Polly Queen.
The comment actually goes, so what if the person is the president, keeps knocking me down? How do I take him out? But like what you said now there at the end, I'm going to use this example as my starting point for this comment. Yes, you had an external force. The president was saying, hey, lock down, guys, or whatever he was saying that interfered with your situation, okay? But you still have time to work on yourself. During times where, yes, it sucks. You can't work or you can't whatever, you're stuck at home, it sucks, it sucks, it sucks. But you have an opportunity to invest in yourself. You know what I mean? Like you have
Yes,
an opportunity to try and see other opportunities, find other opportunities. Like
yes,
go and like, oh, this is well, and find out if you can or can't do it. Taking that leap of faith and seeing what can be achieved within that period of time that you're actually stuck at home, you will end up finding more things about yourself than you ever realized. Like Sunil
yeah,
said there, like standing in front of a mirror naked. Now, I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying like being there for the first time and looking at yourself going, who am I? What am I doing? What is my goal? What am I really trying to achieve with the situation that I'm in? Then it all comes back down to self-esteem and mindset. Because if
yeah.
you have the self-esteem to believe in yourself enough to be able to, I want to do that, and go and do that, you are going to see and experience new things like you cannot believe because you will end up growing in such a short space of time. So then your self-esteem and your mindset, the more your mindset is, I will achieve what I set myself out to do, I will achieve, I will achieve. And yes, you're going to fail along the way. Failure is part of the process. Like, don't be afraid of failure. You're going to like hit rock bottom a few times. Trust me, I know I've hit rock bottom a few times. Like, it took me leaving a country, starting over again to find myself and know my own self-worth and know my self-esteem in driving myself forward is there.
Okay, so passionate, Eugene, so passionate. Look at this
Yeah.
guy. So
Sorry.
I've got to take pointers here from what I see as my psychologist as well, Maria. She says society, media, childhood can affect your self-esteem. Absolutely. How you're brought up can affect your self-esteem. And she says here, I've learned in psychology that various studies say that people who have unhealthy self-esteem are more likely to develop depression and anxiety. And she agrees with you. She says, correct, Eugene, that is true. So first of all, Eugene, just to respond to what you were speaking about now, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. And just by the way, the standing naked in front of a mirror is actually a genuine exercise, which I encourage people to try doing. Because if you can stand in
Okay.
front of a mirror going, you know what? Yeah, I love this right here. I love this right here, but you believe it. That is the big test right there.
I had a moment like that, standing in front of a mirror, in 2007, 2008. Okay, and we went on holiday. My ex was Polish, her friends was Polish, and they were making a laugh and they were joking. We were like, and I went back to the room, and my girlfriend at the time went, "Do you want to know what they were saying?" And I was like, "Yeah." She went, "They said you're good looking, but you're fat." And I was like, "Am I?" And I went and stood in front of a mirror for the first time and looked at myself for the first time and went, "Oh, crap, I am." but then on the way home, bought the right magazine, 4-week exercise program, 6 weeks later, 10 kgs down. I knew what I needed to do, but I never realized that until I actually stood in front of a mirror and went,
yeah, Maria says definitely talking to yourself in the mirror is also boosting your self-esteem, because you need to be able to speak to yourself and build yourself. But when people do things like that, what you just did now, Eugene, you did the exercise program to lose the 10 kgs. By the way, well done. It was very quick. Some people will do those things for other people, but not for themselves. The moment you start doing things for other people only, it's not self-love anymore. It is not loving yourself. It is not growing you. It is doing stuff for other people. There are people out there that don't want to go see themselves in a shower. They don't want to see themselves in a mirror. And the question is to find out why. What is the reason? Is there a way
what are you
you
scared
can
of?
deal with it? What are you scared of? If you are getting depressed through a movie, what you've done is you've identified a trigger. What is that trigger, and how are you going to deal with that trigger? We've all got triggers. We've all got a story. Everybody's got triggers. Goodness, whether it be triggers for jealousy, heartache, anger, whatever it is, they are all triggers. But when you identify that trigger, it gives you an opportunity to grow. And like you said, Eugene, when the president, like the person earlier saying, whether the president breaks my self-esteem down, is the president breaking your self-esteem down, or do you have an opportunity to start learning about yourself? That has been the scariest thing. And we've spoken about this before on our Monday Motivation with Eugene Wood and myself, Sunil
We
Osmond.
keep coming
We've
back
spoken
to
about
this.
we keep coming back to this. It's about learning about yourself, finding out who is this inside here, who is this inside this vessel, because that's what we are. We are a vessel. Who is in this vessel, and am I ready to get to know him or her? And sometimes that is what the scary journey is. It is a very scary journey. I was there 5 years ago, and I'm still learning about myself every single day. I get told by Maria some things about me that I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, no, she's right. Because you learn about yourself sometimes through others, but also through self-reflection. If you're not reflecting daily or weekly, you're just living. You're just carrying on, you're becoming a sheep. Do you want to be a sheep, or do you want to actually develop into something that is becoming whole? Do you want to develop your level of consciousness? Do you want to love yourself to the point where you can love everybody, not like that, but love everybody, knowing that you love yourself enough to love everybody from a place of truth? Vivi Pauline says, your life is short. Don't let negativity come in life. Think of nice things in life. Life is precious. Yes, think of nice things. Yes, and this is another one I have said over and over in many of my videos and the lives. Negativity is going to be there all the time. Look what Maria said earlier, society, whatever, childhood, people around you. But acknowledging negativity in a positive way is the way to be able to still remain positive. You need to think about what you're thinking. Absolutely correct. Inner root, trigger, uproot. Yes. It's all about having a positive outlook in life. Absolutely, Maria. There are negative things that happen all the time. People die, people get sick, people leave your life, people will hurt you. But you need to acknowledge that it's happened, embrace it, and then let it go. It's hard to let go. Very hard to let go of certain things. Most important is to acknowledge overall strengths and weaknesses. Yes, exactly. Acknowledge your strengths and weaknesses. And when you don't have the strength to stand up like a 7-foot model with a calves and an 8-pack, don't try and be them, because you're not being yourself. South Africa, Jay, hey, Monty lady, you feed your thoughts with crap instead of substituting that thought with a good one. Who you hang around with is very serious. Yes, who you hang out with is very serious, but you can hang out with negative people. Tried and tested. You can hang out with people you do not even like. But if you are aware that they're negative and you are aware that you don't like them, you won't allow them to get to you.
Okay, so let's do. I've got one more question, yeah, and then I reckon we need to try and wrap it up there. But it says, not always easy loving yourself if you always make people happy. if you're always putting other people first, not always. And I know a lot of people do this.
Yeah, yeah, guilty. Empath right here, empath right here. It took a massive realization to say that I can't be there for everybody all the time, which is part of the reason I wrote my book, by the way, because I want people to have me in their hands because I can't be there for everybody all the time. It is about protecting yourself. It doesn't mean you can't be there for everybody because you know what? Time is limited. You have to love yourself too. You have to look after yourself too. And yes, I mean, I'm preaching here, but I do it all the time where I will go the extra mile to make sure I'm there for as many people as possible. But being aware of it, you have to come to that point where you go, right, that is enough. Stop. That is enough. And it takes, it actually did, it took a lot of emotional energy for me to say to somebody one day, I really want to get together with you sometime, but just not this week. You got to set the boundaries as well. You've got to set those boundaries without coming across as being this negative, horrible, horrible person, which some people are. They're negative, horrible, horrible people. And that is just them. It's their life. It's their journey. But if you can't be there for everybody all the time, it's okay. You need to know that it is okay not to be there for everybody all the time.
So yes, the way I see it is, I get it. Like a lot of people are so used, especially when it comes to family, you're always trying to do your best and trying to make sure everyone else is happy first. Now, what I've learned, and I had to reset everything to be able to learn this, but when I learned it, it was a case of me first. If I'm not,
Yeah.
if I'm not happy and healed and positive in myself, I can't be that for others. So
Okay.
taking that step back and having worked on myself first made a big difference in that aspect.
Yeah. As a healer myself, now when I say healer, I'm talking about a Reiki master healer. I've learned one thing, and it hit me very hard, and it's absolutely true. A healer cannot heal unless they have healed themselves or on a healing journey. A healer cannot heal unless they have healed themselves or they're on a healing journey. Because then what they're doing is they're projecting their own potential healing on other people.
Hmm.
And that affects the self-esteem. To come right back to our topic we're actually talking about. It comes back to self-esteem. It comes back to confidence. It comes back to knowing where you are in your life, knowing your worth, knowing what it is that you are faced with, not ignoring it. Ignoring does nothing. Ignoring just leaves it there, and when it comes back, it's going to explode. Like we spoke about when we spoke about men and emotions last week. You bottle up, you bottle up, you bottle up, you bottle up, and one day it just explodes. Why let it explode when you can deal with things in small bits? And that is going to be my closing words for this chat, because I can see we've gone way over. When you are working on your self-esteem, build up slowly. Don't feel the pressures of society. I felt it. I know where those people are. Don't feel the pressures of society where you have to be perfect immediately. Perfection is the biggest. I didn't swear, I just mouthed the words. Because when you don't reach the perfection, you beat yourself down. You beat yourself down, and that is what affects your self-esteem. I like to live a perfect life. I love wearing suits, going to fancy restaurants, but I also like to go to the beach when there's a beach around, or chilling out having a sloppy little burger at a pub. Knowing where you are, knowing what you can do, is so important for your self-esteem. And as Stephen Marcus, hey, Stephen, you can't draw from an empty cup. Exactly. Exactly.
No,
Eugene,
no.
closing words. I think we can talk about this for hours.
I I actually think um, Stephen Marcus, I think he just summed it up right there, to be honest. You
Yeah.
can't draw from an empty cup, whether that comes from self-esteem or mindset or self-worth or anything, you can't draw from an empty cup. I think that pretty much sums it up right there, to be honest.
And too many people want a huge draft glass when all they need is a coffee mug.
Sometimes it takes only a coffee mug to start doing amazing things.
If you start with a princess little teacup, I'm going to carry on with this analogy. If you start with a little princess teacup and you're having little tea with Alice in Wonderland and that cup is full and somebody else has a bigger cup, appreciate your small cup. Nothing wrong with pursuing that big cup, that big draft glass filled with a tea. But if you have this little teacup and it's full, it is your teacup. You've got your teacup. It is nobody else's teacup. I said this in my book. Nobody can take any life experience away from you unless you allow them. And that is it from our side.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks very much. If you guys, we are definitely, last week's episode will be on in a couple of minutes, and then we'll be going from there. This one will be on next week. So if you're not following Influencer SA, you can always click on the bio. It should take you there to Influencer SA YouTube channel. We're also on Instagram. And yeah, thanks very much for tuning in, guys.
Thank you very much, everybody. Love and light to you. Look after yourselves. Keep wearing the masks. And just love yourself. Stay safe.
Cool. Have a good one, guys.
Peace out.